Hello. Good morning, Mr. Beaumont. Good morning or good afternoon or good night whenever you're watching this. I'm doing my micro project on Jelly Belly company jelly beans. I picked that one. It piqued my interest because it's my dad's favorite candy, and we buy him a big bin of it every Christmas. Okay, first thing I'm gonna check off the rubric. Factors of production. How does that play into Jelly Belly jelly beans? Let's start. The 4 factors of production are land, labor, capital, and entrepreneur. And I'll explain how the factors of production go into each 4 categories for jelly beans. So an example of land would be like natural resources they use to make jelly beans. So like water, fuel and energy, sugar is a key ingredient in jelly beans, corn syrup, and any fruits and vegetables used to like flavor the individual jelly beans, which isn't a lot. And then land would also be with like the physical space they use, and labor would be like the employees trying to create the mixtures, the employees like packing them, and the employees that are making sure everything's going okay in the business, and also like corporate. And the capital is the machine they would use. I have a picture. And the entrepreneurship is the creator or the person with the idea, which is Gustav Golitz. Okay, next one, on to globalization. Okay, this is kind of my fault because you said in the rubric to like research beforehand if you have enough information to do the project, and I assume there would be. So I was looking at globalization for the Jelly Belly company, and there wasn't anything I could find that shows like where they have their ingredients. So just dogging me off a couple points there. That's fine. I totally understand. But I did put together a list of why doing other countries is good and why doing just America and why it's good. Okay, so why is globalization good? It improves like country standards of living, and it gives them more like technology and more jobs to other countries, because like if we pay like a small farm, it can like grow and they get more employees and then can like a factory type thing, and that's how it improves it. But like the risks of globalization is like uncertainty in packages, imitations of like products, and the price to profit swings. But yeah, I even went to Jelly Belly's website, their Q&A website, and I asked them about the question personally, and they answered, but the answer they gave me wasn't very good and did not help me in the project. Okay, next is supply and demand. Actually, wait, next is free market economy. Okay, so what is free market economy? So, Jelly Belly is a part of the free market economy because of the absence of forced or implied conditions. So, like, no one is truly a free market economy because everyone has to follow regulations by the government. And like one of the current event regulations for Jelly Belly is that they were interested in making CBD jelly beans, but the FDA didn't approve it because it was unlawful and it would require more pathways to legalization, so it was too hard. So that's an example of like being restricted by the government. Like they want to make it, but because of the laws and the betterment of like society, they had to not make CBD jelly beans. And the company has control of the majority of their decisions, but like you still need to be regulated for the betterment of society. Okay, next is supply and demand. Okay, now here are some examples of how supply and demand affect Jelly Belly. So let's say the price of sugar increases to make the jelly beans, then the supply curve would move to the right. So the price would go down and the quantity would go up. And the second example would be the price of Jelly Belly's candy cane, so like a different product of theirs, the price of that went up, and so the demand curve would shift to the left, and the price would go down, and the quantity would go down. And for the third example, let's say a machine that makes jelly beans gets invented, or they buy it and it's cheaper to make jelly beans. That means the supply curve would move to the left. The price would go up and the quantity would go down. And those are 3 examples of supply and demand curves in real life. And next we're going to market structure. Okay, last but not least, market structure. So, the market structure I chose, which this chart came in handy, that I made about the market structures. I do take notes during your lectures. So I think, personally, it's monopolistic competition, and I wrote down why. And I said because there are many different candy companies like in competition, like Cadbury or Peeps, because they're all very popular Easter candies, and like it's like their time of the year. And then also the products are different, but they're still similar because they're in the candy section, and they all have to like still be unique to like be in the candy game. So like they make a bunch of different flavors, they have different Peep flavors, and they also do both have lots of advertising, so that's why I chose monopolistic competition. And that is the end of my presentation. Thank you for listening. I hope you enjoyed the video. Yeah, so I want to keep it fresh.